Hi. How is everybody doing today? We are live with Erie River Publishing. From keeps going from like rainy to sunny in Ontario. So that's what's going on. We're in my part of the world. Today is a really exciting day. We are doing a live streamed event with the one and only Drew Starling, who happens to have put out an awesome novel just a couple days ago called Sentinel, and we are launching it. So welcome to his launch party, the one and only Drew Starling. Here we go.
Hello.
Hey.
How's it going, Michelle?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm excellent. And it occurred to me that we were like discussing what topics we should discuss. Maybe we should discuss how we met and the project that brought us together.
We could definitely talk about that.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining.
Yeah.
This has been really exciting. And Michelle and I have been working together for a couple of years on various projects. And we met on a fateful internet raid about Area 51 a couple of years ago. And I've been just like the biggest Erie River fan ever since, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
It was a fun time. Now, I do want to say we've got a couple of people saying hi. So hi, David and Neen, Ashley, Heba, and Chris. I am going to be assigning everybody. So if you're on, please comment something because we're going to put your number, or maybe, it'll probably be easier if I just write everyone's names down. You know what? We're going to do just names because then I don't have to write 17 lists. So I'm going to write your name down and I'm going to stick it in a jar, and periodically through this event, I'm going to pull a name and you get to win a prize.
Beautiful.
So if you are watching, just write anything and I'm going to put your name down so I know you're here. But yeah, we met a few years ago when I decided to put a hilarious little project together called Storming Area 51.
Yeah.
Our first novel-ish together. It's good times.
I would say the novel was more successful than the actual raid by a lot.
Oh, yeah, it was by far.
As in it actually happened and was successful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, oh, hey, Kat. A lot of people know that I've been working on this for 3 years. And Michelle is also part of, along with a few other commenters here, Holly, Chris Hewitt, David Green, he's part of the community. I was going to say they're all great people, but David Green's not a great person.
He's a robot.
Yeah. That have just been this amazing indie community, which has been the fun part. We've all been writing short stories together. And I don't know, I guess this novel would have come out earlier, but I got sidetracked on some really fun projects and, life, obviously. But yeah, it's been a long time coming. Yeah. I'm going to read a section. I'm going to read, Michelle. I actually asked, so I have two ideas. I was going to either read the deer scene or the basically what I sent to the email list, but like expanded. So like the dream and then the waking up from the dream. And then I think I want to do the waking up from the dream thing though.
I think that would be a fun little, because if people who are on your email list.
Yes.
I am a robot. David said he is a robot, just a sad one.
I know that he is. He's.
But I think it would be a good idea to have something like that read, because if you are on his reading list and if you're not on his newsletter, make sure that you do join. But it'll catch some people up and make sure we're all on the same page, because this is a really exciting book. So why don't we just start with telling us a little bit about this novel? Like what started this whole thing?
So actually, speaking of my reading list, this is my next planned email. Is the setting and the story are kind of based on a real thing, and I Neen, if you just go to drewstarling.com, it's right there, and you'll get 3 free short stories.
Hi, Kara.
My friends, yes, Kara. My friends and I go to a cabin every year in the woods in Virginia. A couple of them might be on here. And one year we went and I was very jet lagged because I had been taking a trip to India. And I was sort of looking out at 3 a.m. over this meadow in the woods and saw this really, Thomas Winslow is one of the people who knows this cabin well. Anyway, I saw this weird shadow walk across the thing. And then like that night kind of came up with this story in my head. And then the next morning when we were all in the hot tub, I sort of like told it to people. I was like, hey, this would be a cool horror movie. And they were like, oh yeah, that'd be a cool horror movie, I guess. Sure. Because horror movies are usually awful. And I was originally going to write a screenplay, and then I just started writing it, and it felt more like a novel. And I wrote it out, and it was really, really bad. And then I got an editor to help me with it. And then it was really, really bad. And then I got another editor to help me with it. And then it was a little less bad. And then I sent it to Michelle. And then it was passable. And then we sent it to our beta readers. And then it became good. Is kind of how I feel like it went. But there were like 5 versions. And I have all the old ones saved. I'm terrified to open them up again. But
to relieve that pain, to relive that pain. And but this is a good lesson for anybody, is that your first attempt at a novel, 9 times out of 10, it isn't perfect. So as long as you're willing and open to criticism and critique and fine tuning things, like you can like succeed.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Like it can get there to the point where you're happy with it and you're willing to show it, kind of thing. You just have to be willing to actually go through those steps.
And you need honest people like Adam Davies and Ross Tyson, who were my first alpha readers. I called them, and they were just like, "Look, you got to change X, Y, and Z," and Linda Nagel and all those guys. It's good to be honest and not just say, "Oh, it's great," because it probably isn't. So yeah, that's the story. And there is a sequel planned, believe it or not. I've already outlined it. It's going to be a duology. And then, I don't know, I'll do something else. So I want to get cracking on that and hopefully release it by the end of the year. We'll see. It's kind of an aggressive timeline, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. So you're going to start reading something. If anybody has questions throughout this, just type them in the comments. We can see them. We'll respond to them. Hello, Undead Dad Reads. He's one of our readers. And he does reviews, and he's a wonderful person to have on our team of reviewers and readers. And hi, Thomas. And I think, hello, Erie River. That's me.
Who's that?
Chris. Hello, Chris. So, and Robert. So anyone else that's here, remember, put your name down so we can enter you into a draw. The first draw is going to be for a set of stickers from Erie River. And I'm going to be drawing that pretty after his reading. Are you ready to read?
I am ready. Hopefully it won't be too long.
Okay, I'm going to put you on solo mode so that I can just, you don't see me going like this. All right, here you go. Enjoy.
All right. This is about a third of the way into the novel. And Aaron, who is the main character, one of the main characters, is struggling with some weird dreams when he goes to bed. And I'll just start there. Darkness took Aaron until he found himself standing on the deck of an indoor swimming pool. He had been there before, long ago, but he couldn't place it. He had been there as a child. The water was tranquil. The building was silent. Black windows told him it was still dark out. In a dreamlike trance, Aaron's legs began to walk themselves towards the edge of the pool until he found himself in it. He passed the 3 feet marker, then 4, then 5. Then his lips touched the water and seeped into his nose. He kept walking, but also somehow managed to keep breathing. His eyes became submerged, and he saw something at the bottom of the pool. It looked like a person, a young boy. Aaron got closer, closer, and closer. Caleb. Aaron's little son Caleb, lying naked and unconscious at the bottom of the pool. His eyes were open, and his face was blue. Aaron walked to within inches of the catatonic boy. Tiny air bubbles lined the contours of his cold, lifeless face. Aaron took him by the hand, and his feet began to walk again, this time right up the long wall of the deep end. Caleb felt weightless as Aaron dragged him out of the pool and laid him down on the deck. At no point during any of this did Aaron panic or become scared or even feel as though this was out of the ordinary. Caleb blinked twice. Then his mouth swung open to reveal a gob of black slime that spewed out over his lips and down his chin. Without moving a muscle, Caleb's body slid along the concrete and plopped right back into the pool, leaving a trail of black slime and Aaron alone on the deck. In the water, a dark mass began to take shape. It started in the center of the pool and grew outward until it poked out of the water. A dog barked faintly in the background of whatever world he found himself in. Aaron smelled metal and tasted ash. The black mass rose further out of the water, nearly to the ceiling. All at once, the thing recoiled and revealed itself to be the creature from the meadow. It was right there, in the pool, mere feet in front of him. It must have been 20 feet tall, a titanic body devoid of all but the most general features. Its construction made it look like it had been crudely slapped together with mountains of pewter-colored mud. It had shiny skin, a rough stump of a head, and 3, not 2, tiny yellow eyes. That's what's on the cover. Yellow eyes that looked through Aaron all the way into his soul. If they saw his thoughts, they saw his fear. But it wasn't the thing's size, metallic smell, or even the 3 yellow eyes that scared Aaron. Rather, it was its unsightly collection of long tentacle-like fingers. Each individual finger, or claw, or whatever they were, must have been 6 feet in length, and they moved ever so slightly back and forth, not as flotsam in the water, but as sentient appendages quivering in some way that may have made sense to something somewhere in this universe or the next. They hung from the creature's elbows like old dead branches of a lightning-charred tree. The barking grew louder. Then, millions of flies rose up from the water and began spinning around the creature, hiding and protecting it in a dense and dizzying suit of insectile armor. The buzzing was deafeningly loud, and then the creature began to emit a guttural droning sound so loud it shook the entire building. The water rippled, and the ceiling tiles began to crash to the ground. Scene change. His eyes blasted open, and his skin stung from the chill of the coat of cold sweat. The blackness of the room told him it was still dark outside, and the crickets chirping outside told him the dream was over. The creature, the pool, Caleb were all gone. All that carried over was the sound of the dog barking. The bark was coming from outside, barely breaking through the cricket's roar. He took a deep breath and looked at the clock on Ellen's nightstand, 4:08 a.m. Realizing the creature would be out there right now, Aaron desperately fought the temptation to look out his bedroom window. Hank was dead. That's a spoiler. Was Caleb dead too? Was that dream trying to tell him? He gave in. The creature was there, making its moonlight trek, maybe 200 yards away. Down by the road and halfway between the house and the creature, something else was moving, bobbing up and down towards the edge of the front yard fence. Cooper! Aaron screamed. Cooper, their dog, stood like a gladiator at the edge of the front yard in an absolute fever pitch, barking in his small ferocity at the monstrous interloper in the meadow. Oh God, Cooper, no, Cooper! Aaron heard Ellen stirring awake as he ran downstairs and plugged in the cord supplying power to the floodlights. As soon as they came on, the creature stopped in its tracks. It ceased movement altogether. It stood there, frozen, mid-stride, almost exactly halfway across the meadow, between the 2 pine forests, under the starry sky, with the eons-old blue ridge mountains looking on. Illuminating the creature had only further stoked Cooper's fury. Aaron darted to the front door and grabbed his leash. He had only acquired 1 shoe when Ellen's cell phone rang from upstairs. No, Ellen, don't pick it up. Don't answer it, Ellen. Aaron diverted his entire focus back to his wife, willing her not to listen to that gaping portal of hell on the other side of the phone. He charged back through the house, maximizing every stride, every foot placement, every shift in body weight to shave off milliseconds. Ellen was sitting on the edge of the bed with the phone to her ear. The whites of her eyes bulging around her irises, and her jaw locked open. She handed the phone over without saying a word. Aaron put the phone to his ear and kept his eyes on his wife. There was less static this time. Aaron couldn't immediately identify why, but that troubled him. It was as if the static had been masking what was really on the other end, and now the mask was off. When the voice finally spoke, it was noticeably different than before. The voice was clearer, somehow familiar. It was Hank. Open the gate. Open the gate. Aaron ran back downstairs, leaving his wife behind to grapple with whatever thoughts ravaged her mind. He kept the phone to his ear. Hank sounded tired. The voice was strained, only a little more than a whisper against the static. It was Hank, but it wasn't Hank. Someone commandeering his voice and using it as their own. He kept repeating the same message. Open the gate. Hank, what does that mean? Is that you? Are you alive? Open the gate, was his only reply. The words were a robotic murmur, and they conveyed a pain that sounded almost ancient. Aaron flipped down Ellen's phone, ending the call, and he jammed it into the pocket of his shorts before running out the front door. He didn't even bother trying to get Cooper's attention by shouting. Instead, he made a beeline for the dog. Cooper growled and snapped and snarled at the creature, the monster still frozen under the lights. Aaron stumbled to the edge of the front yard and unleashed Cooper, who bucked and pulled with the force of a stallion. If not for the rickety old fence, he would be out there mauling the thing, or dead from trying. With the leash secure, Aaron twisted his neck towards the meadow and the monster upon it. It was all there, the shroud of flies, the bulky black body, the spindly fingers that could squeeze the life out of a lion. The droning sound at the end of Aaron's dream was clearer in real life. It was a deep, monotone hum that could certainly not be made of any kind of vocal cords he was aware of. The creature hadn't moved at all, and the dog was still going bonkers. And the metallic smell. It was the same smell Cooper had brought back with him when he had run into the woods at Hank's. The same ashy taste from Aaron's dream. He stood locked in place, his shadow from the floodlights cast right upon the physical manifestation of his darkest nightmare right in front of him. He tried to look away but couldn't. The more he stared at it, the more it burned itself into his psyche, until boom, the floodlights shut off and everything around him went black. His pupils weren't properly dilated for nightfall because they had adjusted to the bright lights. He gripped Cooper's leash as hard as he could and sprinted back to the house, driving his berserk dog. Cooper had barked so hard for so long that he couldn't bark anymore, and all that came out were cracked whimpers. Not for 1 second did the guardian of the household take his eyes off the creature. He wouldn't dream of it, even with his owner strangling him on the way back to the house. Cooper wanted that thing's throat, its black, monstrous, impossibly thick throat. Ellen stood silhouetted in the glow of the front door. Caleb was not with her, even from down the hill. Aaron could see the unplugged extension cord at her feet. Ellen, did you see it? Did you see it? Yes, I saw it. Aaron and Cooper ran inside, and Ellen slammed the door behind them. They bolted into the bedroom, and after Ellen grabbed a wailing Caleb, the entire family huddled together in a frightened puddle on the bed. Aaron turned his head to look out the bedroom window one last time. The creature, no, the monster, had vanished. All right, I'm going to stop there. Unless you want me to keep going.
No, you're good. That was great. Thank you. Never open the gate. We've got a couple new people that have joined us. So I hope you guys were able to enjoy some of the reading. Hi, Rachel and Nate.
Nate Cahill is someone who trolls me.
I'm just enjoying this.
Yeah, thank you. Emily, yes, there is a part 2 coming. Emily Haynes is one of my amazing ARC readers. Thank you, Emily.
Oh, perfect.
Amazing review. John Schuler, Tab Bainham, hello. These are people I know as well. Also,
always good when you know people.
Yeah. So that, like I said, that scene takes place about a third of the way through. There were a little bit of spoilers there, but yeah, it's okay. Actually, yeah, I think we mentioned some of that in the blurb. And it's the first time Ellen sees it. it is the introduction, I guess. David Green, great question. Are you in part 2? So you're not yet, but there is a character who
Pencil him in.
There is a character who is I am designing in the physical sense around Tim Mendes.
Oh yeah, you told me that.
Yeah. So maybe we'll get you in there. But yeah, so this is a point in the novel where Ellen had not seen it, and now Aaron's like, okay, you've seen it. We've got to, and so they go back to the room and they're like, okay, we've got to fucking figure this thing out. Sorry. But they get really serious, and their little son is crying because he's not sure what's going on. And the nightmares continue, and the hell continues, and the police get involved, and it gets bad. Hey, June, you are here.
Lovely. Who doesn't love ooh, we got one more person I can add for this new June draw. So what I'm going to do is we are going to do a quick draw. If you have any questions, please ask them in the comments section.
Yeah. And I see a couple. So yeah, Emily, I mentioned this, but the sequel will be coming out hopefully.
It was cutting.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, it should be coming out at the end of the year. There's a part 2. Other questions? I
didn't cut fast enough while you were reading. So
okay.
If people are hearing scratching noises, it's me just cutting things because I'm an idiot.
Yeah, that was you. You were making it the whole time. You were making that sound the whole time I was reading.
Because I pre-cut pieces that are just way too small for names because I thought I was just doing numbers. But anyways.
We're doing names and numbers and scissors and arts and crafts.
It is my house. Okay, so we're going to pull a name. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to pull a name to win some stickers. We're going to be doing a skull sticker and a I Cthulhu you. Because I Cthulhu love it.
That's some Tim Mendes stuff right there.
Exactly. So John, hello, I'm adding you to the draw. So that's the first draw. And the next 2, because I'm actually going to draw 3, the next 2 people after that are going to get postcards from Drew. Because we have postcards for the Sentinel as little swag stuff.
Yeah.
So first name, we're going to do, again, if you have any questions, throw them in the bottom. So first name to get those stickers is going to be Tab B.
Yes, Tab.
Tab, I hope you like stickers because you're getting them.
Stickers. He will. So I'll speak for Tab.
Now I feel like I need to throw more stickers in there because
a couple weeks ago was in South Carolina at the christening of Tab's son, Ludwig, in South Carolina, and I'm the godfather of this child. I don't know why he decided to do that. And
poor kid.
Yep, Tab lives in beautiful Sweden with his wife, his Swedish wife.
Yeah.
Annika and their 2 children, and he is a huge. We're gonna give them to Agnes, his daughter.
Yeah, I'll add in. I actually have another little guy of this one that's purple, so I'll add that one in there too.
I love that.
Yeah.
A couple questions real quick. So people are asking about the next one. I made the late-breaking decision to include the blurb of book 2 in the back of the ebook. So number 1, you can read the blurb there, but I'll read it to you right now. Book 2, Nothus, coming 2022 or 2021, we'll see. It's been 6 months since tragedy rocked the rural hamlet of Bensalem, Virginia. Newly elected Sheriff Cheryl McNamara has vowed to uncover the truth about her town's dark history to drive out whatever terrors roam the woods and surround them. Her big break in the case comes from an unexpected source, her teenage daughter Skylar, whose fascination with the occult and unique ties to an ancient mystery that has kept the town mired into its demonic nature makes a remarkable discovery. But tragedy strikes again, and with the true form of the evil revealed, it is young Skylar who must confront not only the Nothus, but also the town's personal demons that led her to its lair. So, you did not meet those characters in what I just read, but you will meet them in book one. Cheryl is the main police presence in town. Skylar is her daughter, and I really loved the relationship with them and didn't get to explore it a lot, and so we're going to be doing that. Yeah, Nate, I do have postcards.
Do you have them close to you?
I don't. I'm at my father-in-law's house, so.
Oh, okay. Well, then that's fine.
But they're awesome.
Yeah, her character is a great character. So let's do 2 more polls.
Yeah, Holly, she's the main protagonist.
Chris H.
Oh, who's that?
Chris, you're getting a set of postcards.
Yes.
All right, and let's do 1 more, and then we'll answer some more questions. Let's see. Let's see what this name says. Nate.
Oh God, Nate Cahill.
There you go.
Bastard. Okay. All right. So questions. Drew, did you ever read Wayward Pines or read Twin Peaks? As I got those vibes reading it. Totally awesome. I watched Twin Peaks, and it is super dope. And it didn't occur to me, but yeah, I guess it is kind of similar from a setting standpoint. Actually, there's a lot of similarities now that you mention it. It never really occurred to me. Definitely a cult classic, wonderful little TV show. But I never read the books, and I don't know how different they are. Did you read those, Michelle? Wayward Pines or Twin Peaks? Did you see the show Twin Peaks?
I did when I was younger, but I never really got into it.
Yeah.
I know, like, probably everyone's going to hate on me now, but it's
an acquired taste, but I think everyone here would love it.
Probably.
I would hope. Nate Cahill, yes. Drew, postcards, yes.
We've got a question up here from John. What is the hardest part of the process of creating this book?
So, yeah. That is pretty easy. So I had to write this thing like 4 or 5 times, and getting up out of bed to like rewrite, I had to rewrite it, and that is a very boring, very unrewarding process. Oh God, Michelle remembers me lamenting this for a long time. And that's the hardest part. You want to write it and just be done with it, but you have to keep running over it and running over it and running over it. And even when I was reading that right there, I was like, oh my God, I would totally change those 2 words. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it'll never be, I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Hello, Emily. I'm putting your name in a draw. We're doing draws.
I'm looking for a couple more questions. David Green says, I also like, quote, shady order. You are a shady order, my friend. And maybe I will find a place for David Green somewhere lurking in the shady order. Well, actually, I have an idea. I have an idea of how to work David into book 2. Okay. We'll talk about that later, Michelle.
Like, you can write whatever you want. I'm just going to come in and be like, take this out.
Well, it'll be a character who looks and acts like him. It won't be David Green, and he won't have a British accent. Emily asks, will the family be in part 2? Okay.
Oh, okay. We're doing that one first. Hold on.
Do you want me to do that? The short answer is yes, and I'm going to not reveal too much. The short answer is yes. But since you've already read the book, you know the fates of them. But if you heard what I said for the blurb for part 2, they are not as prominent, but they are definitely there.
Yeah, like the new book is going to be taking on different main characters. So it's in the same town, it's got the same characters in it, but your main protagonists are going to be through the eyes of a different character.
Yeah.
So most of these people you'll still see around the book. You just won't necessarily be within their headspace.
Yeah, and frankly, that decision was based a little bit on you guys. Some really great feedback to Cheryl, who was the main cop. And so I felt like she has a lot of story to tell. And she's really easy to write for some reason. I just love. Emily Haynes asks, "Why do you write horror?" It's the only thing I think I would be any good at writing.
What is it about horror that draws you in?
There's two things I'm good at writing: horror fiction and political tweets. And so I'm trying to write as few political tweets as possible now. But I don't know. I've always loved horror. It's I love the visceral reaction of fear and like I don't know. It's just a different sort of mental computation when you're reading something or watching something, and that fear thing kicks in. It's almost like yeah, horror poetry for sure. I don't know. It's like this is a dumb example, but it's like, you ever like get the urge to just stick your finger in a socket, just like sitting there, like you could just do it or you could not do it. And if you do it, you might feel.
What is like a weird? Just
it's just like, that's what reading horror is like. It's like you feel a little weird. You ready for that? Might hurt a little bit. Is that exciting to you?
So you're doing it for the rush.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a rush.
There you go.
Sure.
It's like sticking your finger in a socket.
Well, you've clearly never. Have you ever stuck your finger in a socket?
Hell no.
Okay,
I
well,
write horror instead.
I did it by accident, like because I used to do carpentry and electric work. And
like I've been electrocuted.
Yeah, it's the same thing. You just get a little boom.
And use a fork, not your finger.
Yeah, right. You don't want it's like the way they described it to me before I did it. The carpenters. Now we're really on a tangent.
Yeah. Now that we're completely off topic.
And he was like, "No, it doesn't hurt, but it's not a feeling that you want to keep feeling for the rest of your life."
Yeah, it's something you will never forget. I agree. Yeah.
So anyway, why do I write horror poetry? I have never written any horror poetry. The closest I came was actually something with our friends, Black Hair Press, where they did a little horror lockdown thing, and I wrote a little 200-word. It wasn't actually. I wrote one Drabble for You that was poetry. The Dullahan.
Yeah, it was Forgotten Ones.
The Forgotten Ones, and that was fun. But it was only 100 words, Tab. I don't think I could go much longer than that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, David Green. I'm gonna keep this short, mostly because I'm fuming that Everton didn't score a goal today for other reasons. But yeah, it's about right. It's about right for Arsenal. I was sort of also like, you get a rush, and like it was the sort of a sticking your finger in the socket moment when I guess a few months ago they were in like literally in relegation territory. I was like, wow, this is gonna feel a little weird, but I kind of like it. Wouldn't mind seeing Arsenal just get relegated. Anyway, I'm Arsenal are a weird team. I don't like anybody who plays for them except Aubameyang. But even Aubameyang. This is where when David Green and I chat about like newsletters and stuff, our conversations usually devolve into English football.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Arsenal, yikes. Leicester City though, wow. Good for them winning the old FA Cup.
Here's one more question. We're going to get wrap up pretty soon with just a couple more questions. If you have anything, put them on there. John asks, what lessons did you learn from writing this book that you hope to apply to book number 2?
Well, I honestly just hope it comes out a little bit better the first time. Because when I wrote the first one, I didn't have any sense of what the structure should be. And I've already actually done one thing, and I've completely outlined. So in Sentinel, the way that I like to do it, and a lot of authors do this, is they don't write like a 2,000-word chapter. They'll write a chapter and then break it up into like 800-word chunks with little dots or marks or whatever. So you have these basically like 55 to 75 little sections. And I've already lined up every single one of the sections. I think there's like 58 for the next book. So just by virtue of and I've already written 7 of them. So by virtue of the fact that I've got it organized in a much better way, and for all the authors here, I used a service called StoryGrid, which is amazing. It basically just breaks down, if you have kind of a lot of us deal with spreadsheets in our daily, like normal lives. They basically take a kind of a spreadsheet approach, almost a mechanical approach to writing a good novel. And they use, for instance, Silence of the Lambs, and they sketch out on this graph and show like, here's the ups and here's the downs, and here's the climax and here's this and here's that. And it actually is extremely helpful to just visualize what a good story should look like. And there's like 5 models. So I hope that it goes smoother in that regard.
Yeah, well, I think you just have to keep writing. That's the whole thing. Like, you can't go. June said something about,
hey, June.
When she started out, she read Dean Koontz and Stephen King. So that's a good question. Who was the first horror writer that you read and enjoyed?
Stephen King. It was I was a camp counselor at this camp that this like horseback riding camp in Colorado in college. And one summer, and there's like, we were taking these like 5-day trips out in the woods or whatever, and I had a Stephen King book with me from the little library there. I was like, I'll just bring this. That was the book. It was It, and that was the first time I ever read a book and was actually scared.
Yeah.
And he's great. He's really good. Dean Koontz, I kind of am not as big of a fan, but I definitely respect him, and he's consistent as hell, which is the main thing.
Dean Koontz was the first like horror novel that I read when I was younger. He's the one that kind of got me on the adult horror. I had read a lot of younger horror, but he was the first like step into the adult world. Yeah. Of like world building and weirdness and awesome. So I enjoyed that. We've got
book 2
here. Will book 2 get even darker?
It's an interesting question. I don't know. I'm thinking it's going to be equally dark, but what it is going to go into more is the order and I don't know if you've read the first one, but
that's Undead Dad.
Oh, that's Undead Dad. Okay. Hey, Undead Dad. Thank you, by the way. You're amazing. So you're going to learn more about the order and also more about the process of the transformation. If you know what I'm talking about there, I don't want to spoil it, but there's some like alchemic stuff there, which is actually based. I did a lot of research on like Sir Francis Bacon and alchemy in the early American colonies, and just some of the like the weird offshoots, like what was his name, Kepler, who just like anyway. So it's going to get more into that, and it's going to be more oriented towards like less sort of situational horror and more kind of gothic, because the ultimate antagonist, I'm not going to mention the name, is you're going to really understand the nature of that thing, and you're going to understand sort of the past. And actually, Michelle remembers, I actually wrote a few little blurbs from basically like a journal entry of someone from hundreds of years ago talking about the things that led up to this. And I was going to include them in this book. Michelle and Linda and others wisely talked me out of it. But I think I'm going to release those like between now and then as sort of like newsletter material, just like here's some excerpts that are like just little extras. So I don't know if it's going to get darker. Actually, it is going to get darker, and I'm not going to tell you why because I just thought of the reason. Sorry. There's a totally separate reason, and it has to do with Skylar. And I'm not sure what it is.
I'm like, it needs to get it as from what we've talked about, it is going to get slightly darker.
Oh, well, yeah. Then there's that whole thing that happens in the very middle of the book, which is a big deal, but I'm not going to, can't touch it.
No, we're not talking about that.
Yeah, sorry. Okay. Has anyone ever been to Coventry? And why hasn't anyone said a horror story there? David Green, I think you're setting yourself up to write a horror story that happened in Coventry. Although I'm guessing Tab has been there. Tab is a friend of mine who went to St. Andrews. And he's been gallivanting around the European states for quite some time. So I'm guessing he's been to.
My family's from Coventry.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know where my family's from.
Yeah. Well, it's my dad, man. Like, I would definitely know where he's from.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's do another draw. What do we want to draw for?
What are the options? Are we giving away?
We are going to do a giveaway for a signed paperback, but it's not going to be a live one. What I'm hoping we can do is after a week, we're going to calculate everyone's comments, take the names down of everyone that's watched in the last week.
Okay.
As long as they commented on the screen that we see here, so the one that's on the Erie River page, then they will be included in the draw.
June Dominguez wants a t-shirt.
He wants a t-shirt. What kind of t-shirt?
You have some. I need to get one of those Erie River.
Yeah, well, actually, I am going to set up some Sentinel merchandise as well up on the website. So that's going to be exciting. So they will be like t-shirts and mugs, stickers, all that other fun stuff that's going to be coming up very soon. I just have to link it all to the website so you guys can see it all. But we are, like I said, we are going to do a signed book. If you don't end up winning the signed book, you can order a signed copy on our website as well, because Drew is doing signed copies.
I should mention quickly, one maybe thing merch we can do later in the year is I was with John Schuler and Thomas Winslow last night, and floated the idea to them of me dressing up as the Sentinel for Halloween in a handmade costume, and maybe taking a picture of that and signing that, and maybe you can sell those for like lots of money on EerieRiver.com.
Yeah, or you could sell them on your own page.
That'd be a weird.
Could you imagine just selling pictures of you like dressed up as the Sentinel?
Terrible. It would be a terrible costume. Yeah.
There is an audio book coming.
Yes.
Yes, that is one thing that we are doing, an audiobook. But let's do, so I know a few people have already been, that are here right now, have already read the book. So I'm going to do a draw for an ebook, but once I contact you, if you've already have this one, let me know from our Erie River catalog if there's one that you'd like to have, and we will make sure you get that one. So we're going to do a pull for 2 ebooks. Let's see who's first. Oh yeah, Rachel. Rachel! You're going to get an ebook. Rachel. We'll do another ebook, and then we'll do another postcard. That's cool. Okay, he's gotten all of these ones. So that's for an ebook. So, and that's Undead Dad.
Undead Dad, you already.
You know what? I'm going to give you a postcard because you have all of our ebooks.
Yeah, I think that's right.
So Undead Dad, you get a postcard. I'm
Undead
still
Dad,
gonna do another one.
Undead Dad wrote an amazing review of Sentinel. He wrote an amazing review of David Green's book. And I think he's doing a lot of the. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
That's all right. Emily.
Oh yeah, Emily Haynes. Excellent. She's a good one.
Yeah. So Emily, you're gonna get an ebook, and then I'm gonna pull for the last postcard. Sorry, you can all see me just going like this. Oh, it's Emily again. Okay, apparently you're supposed to get a postcard, and Drew can just send you that one.
I think that I'll hook Emily. I can.
I didn't realize I put 2 Emilys in there, and I know there's only one Emily. Holly C.
Holly Lynn, thank you. You're the best.
You're getting a postcard, hon. Okay. Postcard, ebook. Okay, so I've written everyone down. So you guys are all, stop the count. You guys are all entered just for writing, all entered already for the signed paperback. If you want, share this to the world, tag people, hopefully if more people, well, not hope, yes. More people means less chances. So let's try that.
And for those that ask me, the best thing you can do to support the book is to read and download the ebook or buy the paperback and review. The review is the critical part on Amazon.
Yeah.
We're trying to get lots of reviews. So if you haven't done that yet, feel free to go ahead and do it. And for those in person in DC with me, I am going to be planning an in-person launch party either next weekend or the weekend after. Don't feel like you need to wait for that, but just FYI, I know there's a few people here from home.
Well, is everyone invited or just?
Yes. Yeah. No, actually, it's going to be on my. Yeah. No. Yeah. Everyone's invited. It depends on where we do it. Sarah will have to have a say in where we do it. Because we're going to maybe do it on our roof, but it might be too big. Do it at the park. We do a lot of park hangs these days. Not a lot of inside hangs.
Sorry, we're not even allowed to leave our house right now, so that's good. So we've got a little bit of a promo video just to wrap it all up. But thank you so much for joining.
Yes, thank you guys. This is so much fun.
Is reviewing on Amazon more important than Goodreads? I'm going to say yes.
It is.
And the main reason for that is for people that don't use Goodreads, Amazon is where they're purchasing the book from, or at least the ebook.
But you can still do both.
If you can do both, that's great. But ebook is Amazon is pretty important if you can. If you can't, it is what it is. You can't. So. All right. Well, you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
And congratulations, Drew.
Congratulations.
Very excited.
You're in this with me. I don't care. You can't get out now.
I'm all in, dude. It's exciting. All right.
All right.
Well,
thank you,
talk
everybody.
to you later, and I'll talk to you guys later. Here's our little promo video. I thought there might be volume, but there isn't. So there you go.
There you go.